And we are live. Yes. Time to do a podcast. It has been a very busy day. But that's one thing you gotta do day to day. Make sure you are busy. Remember, guys, life is continuously going. So, if you're busy staying stationary, I want you to image a surveillance camera recording you staying stationary, whether it be maybe you're watching a 12-hour marathon of something or whatever. Now, you image that surveillance camera recording you. Now, image yourself going back to watch that footage, and you literally watch 12 hours of you doing nothing. Nothing. Life is going. Those people that are acting in those movies and whatever shows, they're doing stuff. They're living. While you, binge watching, you are not. That's one thing about the world. Like, for example, when it comes to sports, you see people being full-blown supportive with it. You know, there's fans, there's fanatics. I separate fan and fanatic because you can be a fan of something and not be a fanatic. And yes, I know fan is short for fanatic. But I think when you use the fanatic term, boy, you're dealing with a belligerent fan. So, there's a difference in my opinion. But your fanatics have all this support for whatever craft it is that they support. Collections of memorabilia and all that other bullcrap. They watch every single show, every single season, every single whatever. They devote their life to supporting people that lived life. It's like if you could just turn that energy around and be a fan to yourself and keep yourself moving and doing what those people are doing on the TV and the shows that you support, boy, we would have a lot of people doing a lot of progress. But the thing is a lot of people don't like the struggle that comes with it. I know, change is difficult. It really is. Especially for me. You know, luckily though, I had a caseworker who helped me, learn to take it. Because I used to go in full freak out mode when any kind of change would occur. But yeah, all day today, I've just been at the gym. Went to the gym in the morning today. Then I had a interview at 2:30. And that interview went well. It went really well. Better than the last one. Better than the last one for sure. It was a lot more comforting. See, the thing that's different about the interviews for the type of field I'm wanting to get into, you are the one asking the questions. Not the person that's meeting up with you. So, it's different. It's a very different type of interview. The last interview, didn't really go so great, I suppose. I mean, she gave me some feedback on it to better. But they also paired me up with someone who would be more beneficial to me too. But she did give me some feedback that was on the first interview. And basically, it was a whole nother ball game, I basically said I directed a lot towards me, but Really, they gave me all the information I needed, you know? What else was I supposed to do? Sit there in awkward silence? Like, you know, for example, I always thought interviews, you're supposed to let the people know you know, who you are and whatnot, you know, so they know who they're hiring, you know? The interview was supposed to be based on, you know, the person too. But I guess with certain fields, there's a thing that, like, maybe I'm gonna just call it what I think it is. Self-interviews. You're the one who's doing the interviewing. But, you know, that's why I love this place. She gave me the tips that I needed, the list of questions that I needed, and I stayed on subject matter. And what was even more comforting is there were two people interviewing me. Then the mother also, she was in it. The executive of the place was visiting. Jeez Louise. And like one of the people, they said, I hope you don't get nervous, but the executive's coming over too. And I was like, nervous? No, this is very pleasant to me, actually, because the last interview, I want as much people here as possible. So, you know, I feel more comfortable. You know, I'm the type of person to tell it like it is, but, you know, sometimes you got to keep a lot of stuff to yourself, though. It's one thing I learned from my caseworker. But, you know, when she gave me the feedback back from the first interview, you know, I gave her a pretty good response to it. Told them the reason why it would seem like that. Which is basically, when it comes to these kind of interviews, you are in control. You are in control when it ends and everything. So, me, someone who's never interviewed someone, it was very awkward. So, talk about adapting to a lot of change. Boy, I sure did it. And I did a phenomenal job, in my opinion, today. And the other thing is the mother. She really liked my tattoos, and she wanted me to talk about them, which gave me a chance to give my story. Of course, I didn't go full-blown into it, because I love telling my story. Goddamn, I accomplished so fucking much. I didn't beat myself up because I needed the explanations to be heard. Yeah, I can control when I bleep it out or not. Majority of the time, I'll bleep it out. But, you know, it was a very good visitation, for sure. I learned a lot. The people that I'm going to be working with, they seem great. Very good energy with everything. Just learning a whole lot. I just want to be a difference when it comes to the mental health field. I don't want to be selling bull crap all my life. You know? I don't be working in a call center all my life and just do nothing. Like, life is going on as we speak. You can be making a solid impact on people and being completely selfless and doing something and just being the difference in the world. Or you can be like some people and just make your life all about yourself. You know, that decision's up to you. But I know when I was struggling mentally, when I was homeless, when I was a kid trapped in an adult's body, I depended on my caseworker and my therapist. I really fucking did. Now, I'm here. I'm to this point to where I'm comfortable with my story. I'm comforted by my past. I have no problem talking about it because I am at peace at it when it comes to it. And I can be that difference like my caseworker was for me or my therapist was for me. I can help someone out who has had similar or far worse experiences than me, you know? Because face it, guys, you look at life, everyone's struggling. Everyone is suffering. Everyone is recovering from a childhood. Everyone. Every single person is. And there's reasons behind that, too. The reason why so many people have childhood trauma and they're recovering from it in their adulthood is because they had parents who refused to recover from their past. So when you have parents raising a kid and they refuse to come to peace with their past and they're still battling their demons with a kid, you're only passing those demons on to your kid. That's what people refuse to see. You gotta be the difference in your family, guys. You gotta be the difference. Don't let those demons engulf you. I'll tell you though, it was a beautiful freaking day today too. And that's one thing I like about this job too. Everyone is so relaxed. Everything's so relaxed, peaceful. There is no dress code. I could be my vibrant self. Cause like, for example, the first interview, I asked her, I asked the woman who set it up, the woman who's been working with me. I asked her, is there some kind of dress code or something? She didn't even respond. She didn't answer the question. So I'm just like, well, I guess maybe. So I just dressed in as casual as I could. So it was like 90 degrees out. I'm wearing a sweater, a sweater in my black pants. And, oh gosh, talk about uncomfortable. But I was like, well, if I'm uncomfortable, I'll be even more rewarding towards myself after this interview. But man, when I pulled up, I saw one guy. He had a hat on. He had a short sleeve shirt on, just average tee. And he had shorts on, and it looked like sandals. I'm like, whoa. Now this is my type of place. This is my type of place. I like to express who I am. I like to show my tie-dye stuff. And that's another thing. The mother, when she came in, she had a tie-dye face mask on. Yeah, this is my type of place. My type of place. So you know I'm going to be full-blown vibrancy every single day. But, you know, it's all in all, man, life is a struggle, period. Everyone struggles. Only way you're going to be happy is if you find peace through the struggling. That's all. I'll tell you what I've been obsessed with lately. Bean dip. Chips and bean dip. You know, I'm looking at, it's the cheapest form of chip dip, but I'm looking at ways to make it, right? To see if I can make my own. Now, I require like a food processor and stuff, but I'm like, well, how do I do it without a food processor? Pretty much you can just use a glass bottle, put the beans in the bowl, put all your seasonings and all that stuff in the bowl with the beans, and you just squash it up with the glass bottle. And bam, bean dip. I recommend you heat up the beans before you mash them too. So that way they mash a lot easier and everything. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to start making my own bean dip. I carry a lunchbox with me, so I always have food, so I don't go out to eat and stuff. Like, I got food in the car. I'll just eat out of my lunchbox. And I tell you guys, the lunchbox technique, that stuff works. You never know when they're going to get hungry. And you know dang well you don't want to eat out. So just carry your food on you. Lunchboxes are one of the best devices ever. Because no matter where you are, food is right there. But yeah, it's probably my second meal of the day. The reason I'm eating so I can go back in there and just get back to working out again. It's just going to be a whole day of me just killing myself. And to make up for the absence when I went to Illinois, because when I was in Illinois, I didn't work out at all. I was in Illinois for a week. My time was for my grandma, and that was it. But now I'm back. Time to get back on track. And I've been looking at better ways to frame my mental, because honestly, I was still recovering, from the manic thoughts and everything. I was still recovering. To be honest, I was still recovering this morning too, but I ended up getting a lot better. And I tell you, change of music. Because number one, when life gets tough, I like to listen to Eminem, Slim Shady LP. Number 6. I think the song is called Life. But he's just basically complaining about life. That song is so comforting to me when I'm like that. But it's also a very depressing song. Did I ever get out of the slump from listening to that song? I was listening to it for a good 3 days. But, did I ever recover? Heck no. I tell you, like today, I just got some Shady LP out. I'm like, nah, I don't want to listen to it. Because all it is just making comfort in how I feel, So I put in some Lady Gaga. I was feeling brilliant already. Your music, your choice in music of what you listen to. Don't listen to what you can relate to if you're feeling bummed out and depressed. Listen to something that's going to turn that frown upside down. So, I've been looking into other, mental health videos and all that stuff. Just watching all kinds of different videos. And one thing that came to my mind, I remember this really inspiring guy that I ran into. It was, this was a while ago because I worked with him. And I remember him telling me, I listen to motivational audio. I got my one favorite one that I listen to. He said he listens to it in the morning and he listens to it at night before he goes to bed. Like, this guy was the epitome of determination. He's in school now for basketball. But, before, he was just working where I worked. But he was like, yeah, I kept telling him, you're going to be a big basketball star, dude, with that determination you have. Because he was really inspiring. Very positive guy. Natural born leader for sure. When he came in, everyone wanted advice from him. And it's just because of the energy that he gave off. The guy really was an inspiring guy. He was accomplishing different feats. And when you heard how vocal I was about my diagnosis and my paranoia, how much I've accomplished, he opened up to me about his diagnosis. His diagnosis was some kind of was something to do with bones and something else. But pretty much all his life, he was limited by doctors and all that stuff. You can't do this, that, and the other. But he stayed pushing. They didn't want him to get involved in sports and all that stuff, but he kept pushing. I'm like, dude, and he was explaining to me, like, a lot of people with his diagnosis, they can't even move. And a lot of people don't even believe him when he tells them that he has his diagnosis, so he just keeps it to himself. Because people don't believe him. That's just like when I had a lot of problems, a lot of people did not believe me. I was the little kid that cried fucking wolf. But yet, your boy was in and out the fucking hospital. What the fuck? That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. Nothing wrong with your kid, but why you keep sending him to the hospital? Nothing wrong with him. He's fine. The doctors were fixing him up like a robot. But you know, when I met that guy though, I remember he was asking me for advice because, you know, the thing is if he gets injured, the injury is more detrimental to him because his body takes longer to recover. See, I don't remember the name of the diagnosis he told me, but he keeps it to himself because people don't believe him half the time when he speaks about it. And if he does speak about it and say someone does believe him, they all take it easy on him. He don't like that. He wants to be treated like a normal person just like everybody else. And I totally agree with him. Life is a challenge, period. You know? We all got struggles. We all got suffering. We all have a diagnosis. But the thing is a lot of people don't want to get their diagnosis. They'd rather keep that secret. Thing is, when you keep it secret, your diagnosis gets worse. And worse. And worse. Next thing you know, you done hit 50. You're going through a midlife crisis. I need to go back to happier times. Well, gee, if you would have just got help for all those problems, you probably wouldn't be having that midlife crisis. You're incorrect. Your psychological knowledge don't have nothing to do with me. Huh. That's how people are, man. You try to give them helpful advice. You think they ask you for the helpful advice, but then when you tell them, nah, that ain't gonna work. Those dang therapists don't work. Those gosh dang caseworkers don't work. When I got locked up in jail and I had to do time, blah, 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 blah. And they made me, when I got released, they told me I had to go to a group and Alcohol Anonymous and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. I did my time and I'll tell you what, it didn't work. It didn't work. Yeah, I came out sober and everything, but then I got back in. It didn't work. It didn't work. These people don't want to stick with the regimen. They do their time that they need to do. And then when it's time to go, they don't want to continue. They're like, well, I'm good to go. I did my time. There, the cycle will continue. Just like when my therapist said, James, you've been with me for 2 years. We've pretty much conquered everything. There's nothing I can do for you anymore. So you can either, leave and be on your way, or we can get you a caseworker. Now, what do you think a lot of people pick? Man, I'm out of here. I did my time. I'm taking that free route out. F a caseworker. I ain't got time for that. I'm free. No, mister. That's a bad decision, mister. Now, you need to go get you that caseworker, and you need to continue to work on yourself. Because I'll tell you, the caseworker helps you out with stuff that the therapist the therapist won't. Therapist is there basically to give you peace with what you're battling, peace with your past, peace with your traumatic experiences. But a caseworker, they're going to give you the knowledge you need when it comes to rewiring everything you learned that was incorrect. Man, this chipped and bean dip is the bomb.com. But I'm going to make my own bean dip. I'm going to make black bean dip. And then black bean dip's going to be good. I was reading all the kind of seasoning to put in it. Ooh, it's going to be good. And I'm going to use the Fritos bean dip can. So, I can say, yeah, I got my Fritos dip. And yeah, it didn't cost the Fritos price because I got cans of beans at home. And my favorite is the hot bean dip with the jalapeno peppers. But I tell you, man, that's such a simple recipe, though. Just a glass bottle, put it all in a bowl, mash it up. And to be honest, I think it would be more authentic than a food processor because you probably get all the chunks and all that stuff too. But yeah, you want to stay working on yourself, guys. You want to make sure you're ahead of the game. The way I look at it is you got to keep up with life and time itself. Because life is determined by the concept of time. So, if you can keep up with life and time itself, you are the master of your day. But you got to make sure you're doing it again tomorrow, next day, and next day, and the next day. Oh, and another thing, with the lunchbox thing, if you keep your food in the lunchbox, another good thing that you're going to be doing is saving money. You're going to be saving a lot of money. Oh man, that was good. That was delicious. But yeah, you want to save money. Money is a tool for survival. If you don't got that, well, how do you survive? But yeah, all the hard work, guys, and all the struggling that you do, all that stuff eventually pays off. It all pays off. All the patience, all the time you put in yourself. See, a lot of people run away from that. A lot of people need to get closure and comfort from everybody. And, you know, when struggles get to them, they got to be comforted and held during the time of struggle, which is constantly, continuously putting them back because they get distracted by the comfort. When you get distracted by the comfort, well, guess what? You're going to get consumed by it. When you're consumed by comfort, you're putting your life on hold. While you could be accomplishing stuff, while other people are accomplishing stuff, I'm telling you, you get into the gym, you see all these people who make it a day-to-day thing. Like, I mean, for crying out loud, there's one guy, he goes to graveyard, and he goes in the afternoon. You know, graveyard and afternoon. Like, these people are on a strict time schedule with everything that they're doing. When you go to places like that, you see how serious some people are about their life. And then when you say you go downtown or something, you see how serious they take their life. So it all depends on the environment that you surround yourself in. Because remember, what you surround yourself in, guys, I hate to break it to you, what you surround yourself in, you become that. You become that. I was one of those people that went downtown. I was consumed by comfort. Then I got hurt in the process. I said, never again. Never again. I ain't doing that stuff anymore. You know. Now look what I've attracted. I've attracted a better group of friends. I've attracted people that have helped me on my journey to recovery. I've attracted people who are still educating me to this day. One thing, you know, was my friend who's been educating me on dating and stuff, like healthy forms of dating, because come to find out, everything that I learned and I thought that dating was, that's just the negative side of it all. You know, come to find out, dating is actually healthy if it's done correctly. You know, and to be honest, I don't know. Like, one thing, because, you know, I was very desensitized. You know, I'm very desensitized. I had no empathy and stuff. You know, until I got help, that's when I was slowly starting to recover a lot of the empathy and stuff. And I've been working on it ever since. And I tell you, it's a lot to work on. And one thing that is really hard for me is women. Women, it's hard. It's hard for me to, because I have to do a lot of force with, you know, how I think. It's a lot of force, a lot of forced to rewire to say, hey, that's a human being too. They live just like you. They came from the same place as you. You know, they're just like you. And I have to tell myself that anytime, you know. Of course, you know, I'm friends with women, and I don't have any of those kind of restraints towards them until, like, maybe I feel like they're liking here or something like that. As soon as I feel that there is a liking towards me, I want them to be honest with it. Like, I want you to be honest. I want you to be direct. I want you to be to the point with it, and I want you to tell me, because I don't want any kind of mind games. As soon as I feel like a mind game is at hand, I have to restrain myself from my paranoia, because I know that that's coming from my paranoia. Because basically, you know, I've been there. I've been through the mind games. I've been through the waiting and 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 nothing and nothing. No matter how nice, no matter how polite, no matter how much this, that, and the other you put into it, you're being used for your attention. Get that through your thick skull. Stop. You know, I had to correct all that. But one thing that, you know, when I feel like maybe someone's checking me out or something, you know, I don't like that. Of course, you know, it's complimentary and everything, but my mind, it automatically takes me back to the past, you know, and I came to peace with it all. But the thing is the trauma still lies there. But you see, I take acknowledgement with the trauma. I can acknowledge that maybe they're just liking my shirt, or maybe they're just liking my hat. They're not necessarily making fun of me or anything like that. They're just admiring my style. And that's one thing my friend, the one who's been correcting a lot on the concepts of dating and stuff, is like, you know, because there was a woman at Spencer's here. I see her every time I'm getting some new set of jewelry, or I'm stretching my nose or something. I always see her, and I always think she's so beautiful. And, you know, I went up to her and I said, well, actually, it was the other worker. I said, hey, what's her name? And, you know, they told me, and, you know, I got her to come over, and I was like, listen, you're very pretty, blah, blah, blah. I was complimenting her nails, complimenting all this, that, and the other, and, you know, and they really liked it. And, you know, that would be the person that I am attracted in some way. But the thing is I was noising a lot of it out, because, honestly, I thought I was approaching with lustful intent. Well, come to find out through my friends, she said that James, that's not lustful intent. I said it's not, because usually when I feel like I'm speaking on lustful intent, because when I brought up that girl to my friend, and I was like, yeah, but, you know, I'm trying to kill the emotions and whatnot, because I know that I can't be with someone like that. She was like, why not? And I'm like, well, I mean, because, you know, the nails, makeup, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you know, I was basically complimenting out of lustful intent. And she said, no, James, that's not necessarily it. And I said, how so? And, you know, I was telling her everything that I said and blah, 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 blah. And she says, James, those are actually very genuine compliments. There's nothing lustful about that. And I really did mean it out of the kindness of my heart. That's half the time of it. But you see, with how much sexual harassment gets thrown around like it's candy, you know, you got to be getting careful around here. You got to be careful who you get close to and everything. Like, one thing I was telling one of my friends, because there was some woman who's married and who likes him, but she just wants him for, you know, the physical. And I told him, dude, you need to be careful. You need to be careful, because you don't want to get into a predicament where someone's going to blackmail you or something like that, because it's a dark world. And when you are participating in those kind of acts, you need to really be careful, because it's a dark world. People want something out of you. A lot of people do. That's how this world is structured. Everyone wants to use everyone, and that's one of the main problems. But yeah, my friend educated me, you know, about, you know, complimenting someone's style. You're just complimenting them for who they are trying to express, of who they are in their mind, you know, and that's true. that totally is true, and it was a big wake-up call, because that's what I do with my shirts, And I guess what you can say is, when I find someone attractive, I can be pretty direct and to the point with everything, and I let them know, like, basically, because my caseworker has taught me not to bottle anything. She's taught me to be very expressive about my emotions, because with me being a highly sensitive person, I am more prone to bottling everything. And she said, you don't want to do that, because you're a ticking time bomb when you bottle stuff. And she's right. I am a ticking time bomb when I bottle stuff. Whether it's good emotions or bad emotions, if it's being bottled, it's going to come out as a negative emotion, period. So, always have to be expressive like that. Now, will I make a move on that person? I don't know. I got to discuss stuff with my friend and see on all that, but to be honest, I've been trying to, stay away from that subject matter of that person, because, like I was explaining to my friend, when I have emotions for someone, I basically tell them, listen, I got emotions for you. I really think I have developed a crush, blah, 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 blah. But I can inform you, give it a couple weeks, those emotions are going to be killed. They're going to be done. I'll make sure of it. And blah, 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 blah. Like, that's just how I've always done it. See, the thing is when I had my caseworker, she was helping me, with vocalizing my emotions. But the thing is, when it came to stuff like that, we never got that far. COVID hit. It ruined everything. So I'm just learning everything on my own. That's why I think I met my friend for a reason. Because she's been correct. She's like, James, don't ever tell them it's going to be done in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, what? That's how it is, though. Because I purposely try to kill my emotions. Because, growing up, I've always felt that my emotions were invalid. They were not worthy, They had no sense of value at all. So what I would do is kill them. Kill them. Kill them. End it. And there's nothing more satisfying, because now that I know how to vocalize my emotions, there's nothing more satisfying than informing someone, listen, I've developed a crush towards you, but don't worry, it's going to be gone in 2 weeks. Just kill it right in front of them, Just kill it right in front of them. Not only does it make me feel good, it makes me feel satisfied, but it probably brings them more peace than anything. But see, that's something my friend is helping me with how I think in that aspect. Because she was saying, James, that's all incorrect. That's all incorrect. You're approaching that situation in such a incorrect manner. I'm finding out that people just give out their number freely and stuff. Like, if you're interested in someone, just go up and tell them and ask them out. I'm like, people do that even if you don't know the person, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, like, it's harmless. All you do is you ask them out, and you just get to know them. Just tell them you're interested in getting to know them, blah, blah, blah. You seem like an interesting person. Let me get to know you, blah, blah, blah. Like, but see, when it's always come to me doing something like that, and this goes to people that I have, asked out for coffee. That's my thing. I like coffee. I have asked people, dude, let's go get coffee. Oh, yeah, they totally are down with it. Yeah, totally. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But then, they get busy. And it never happens. Soon, I forget about it. They forget about it. Do I ever make the approach again? Nah, because the emotions have already been killed. I've done murdered it. It's done. The emotions are never coming back. And the thing is see, and this is the thing too, like when people like say, hey, when I express my emotions towards them, blah, 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 a lot of times they inform me, well, James, we're just friends, blah, 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 blah. You put me in that. We're going to be friends. I can't get out of it. Because one thing I have discovered, my friends eventually end up developing feelings for me. I, on the other hand, I have no feelings towards them in that manner. And I remind them, we are just friends. This don't make sense. Because I'm just too literal minded, But with everything that how my caseworker has taught me, just focus on yourself. The right person will come, blah, 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 blah. I honestly believe there's a right person out there for me, just like there's a right person for everybody. And someone will be able to override all that, all that. And honestly, that's why I think I met my friend, because she is educating me on a lot. And it's education that I needed. And one thing she told me, she said, James, I have 2 younger sisters that I had to help, when it comes to dating and stuff, because it is dysfunctional. And there really is a lot wrong with dating. There really is. And I can acknowledge a lot of the stuff that I thought was correct was incorrect. A lot of the stuff that's advertised is incorrect. I mean, there's just no way around it. Basically, when you're going out to look for it, you're looking for trouble. And one thing that I had a problem doing was attracting people. I attracted the wrong people. And one thing my caseworker told me, James, it's never going to end. It's your personality. You're always going to attract these kind of people. Basically, people who like control. They like the reaction that I give when I get emotional and blah, 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 blah. She said, James, just don't even do dating, blah, blah, blah. Just focus on yourself. The right one will come. Because literally, when she would check who I was talking to, who I had a crush on, blah, 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 she would say, James, these people don't like you. James, these people don't like you. And I'm like, yes, you do. You don't know him. You never met him in person, blah, 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 blah. But I see him in person. Man, those people would only speak to me downtown. They wouldn't speak to me when it came to texting and stuff. Sure, I had connection with them and everything. They wouldn't respond to anything. But when I was downtown, oh yeah, they want me to talk to them then. See, that's how it is. And the thing is because a lot of people develop their own personality downtown, whereas in the real world, they're a completely different person. They look at downtown as like a video game, I'm going to put on my avatar real quick. And then when it comes off the downtown, take off the facade. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom. See, I don't like putting much effort into mind games because all mind games lead to is you getting mind fucked. That's all it leads to. And that's one thing you don't want to end up in, because when you get mind fucked, your mental gets fucked up. Then you're going to have another traumatic experience to recover from. Good luck. Good luck. But, yeah, I've been thinking about doing a mixtape. Might have like 5 songs on it or something. Just something short. But, I don't know. I might just continue to do singles too. But, I don't know. I was on the treadmill. I was thinking, man, I should do a mixtape. I should just do a mixtape. Even though I have some that I haven't even released. And I'm not going to release. I'm not. I'm letting all that stuff go. It don't need to be on the dang. I already got 2 mixtapes that are on, those subject matters. I don't need a 3rd and a 4th to fucking talk about it, So yes, there is a 3rd. There is a 4th. I'm not releasing them. I'm not. Because I don't need to give energy to that stuff. It's done, Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing that my caseworker said. She said, James, the traits that you want in a woman, you got to make sure to put those traits into yourself. I'm like, all right. So, that's why I go to the gym and stuff, I want someone who has, confidence in themselves, power in themselves. Because that's what I was always attracted to. But the thing was I was a little crybaby, hanging out with some of these women that I thought were powerful. And they were powerful downtown. But the thing is, outside of downtown, they had no notoriety. Who are you? Oh, you don't know who I am? Well, come meet me downtown so you can see who I am. No thanks. Downtown is just a little bitty area compared to the world of billions upon billions of millions and millions. You're just a little ant to the colony, you know? Sure, you may be a big ant in one little small colony, but the world is one big colony. You're just another ant. Where you may find someone who is awesome and powerful downtown. Guess what? There is another one in another downtown. Because guess what? There's a downtown in every single city. So every single city probably has someone just like that. You know? Don't give it. Don't give it. And that's one thing, you know, that really a lot of women, hell, probably men too, because men play the mind games too and stuff. I'm pretty sure when you get really into the mind games and stuff, you start to have a lot of players. The players like to play the game, you know. Women and men, they like to play the games. They like to gamble, you know. For me, you know, no, I don't say that. I don't play that. I don't play it at all. I won't. I wouldn't even play it on anybody else. That's why I'm such an honest person. I don't want to play any mind games on someone because honestly, I look at them as a living being just like myself. This person has lived for X amount of years. They got an X amount of years of stories. They got an X amount of experience, blah, blah, blah. They have been through trials and tribulations. Why would I be the one person to cause detrimental damage to a person for my own personal gain? You know, I wouldn't. I couldn't. But the thing is, society loves doing that. And if they can get a fish like me to get on their hook, they'll eat me alive. Just like that one woman did. That one fucking woman. I'll never forget. I'll never forget. I can forgive you all I want. But forget? No. Never. Ever. And no, I'm not talking about my ex either. Not talking about my ex. I'm talking about the woman that I fell for downtown. She got me on a hook. And the thing is, it's those type of women. And I'm not blasting any kind of feminist person or whatever. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. She was a very vocal advocate of feminism. And the thing is, a lot of stuff that she quoted was very harsh. And sometimes it was like, you do realize I'm a man, right? You do realize that, right? So honestly, I think she wanted to cause damage because I was a difference. And if those women can get a difference, someone who is not like everyone else, they want to just damage you up and diminish any type of innocence that you have inside of you because you belong to a gender that has done damage to them. You got to be careful, guys. We live in cruel times where men do damage to women. Women can also do damage to men. So from then, my caseworker helped me with the recovery process. She told me to just stay in the gym. If I ever get temptation to go downtown or anything like that, just go to the gym. I've been doing it ever since. I've been staying focused on myself, just wanting to stay bettering myself. And you know, I truly do believe one day, there will be someone for me. But till that time comes, I got to stay focused on myself. I got to stay working on myself because you, as an individual, you are a full-time job. Sure, you may work 8 hours or 12-hour job, but guess what? When you get off that work shift, you got another work shift you got to do yourself. You got to take care of yourself. That's all a part of the process. If you ain't taking care of yourself, well, then what are you doing? You give up on yourself that easy? That one job or one shift that you do, that's enough? You're completely neglecting yourself. Just how your mommy and daddy might have neglected you too. You can't neglect yourself. You can't afford to. You got one life. You can go tomorrow. And you choose to neglect yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? Because no one's giving me a push or anything. I need to have a woman or a man to be by my side to further encourage me. Man, that's not encouragement. That's not encouragement at all. You need to encourage yourself. Because I tell you, they don't care. I have, tried, friending women and stuff like that who I might have had an interest in, but all they ever did was just try to diminish what I've created. For example, I go to the gym obsessively because of my paranoia and stuff. I don't want to get paranoid. I don't want to go back to how I used to be. They'll come to the gym. They're like, yeah, I love going to the gym. I love going to the gym. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Then what? They take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, trying to get me to, let's watch Netflix, let's watch this, let's binge watch, let's. Get the fuck in my face with that. Get the fuck in my face with that. You can die tomorrow. And you telling me you want to sit and binge watch? No. I can go tomorrow. And I don't want to go dying, sitting on a couch binge watching bullshit. Binge watching people living life how it's supposed to be lived. Accomplishing shit. Why would I do that? Why would I watch someone accomplishing shit when I could be out accomplishing shit too? Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that to myself. A lot of people lack the determination. And I only have this determination because of my caseworker. Yeah, I used to have the determination when I lived, at my parents' house and stuff. But the thing is it was hard to keep that determination a lot. Because I didn't have no support. I didn't have the encouragement. That's when I learned I have to encourage myself. I have to encourage myself. I can't depend on anybody. I got to depend on myself. That's all I can do. That's all you can do. It's your life, Some people choose to live by their mommy and daddy's expectations and be a success with what their mommy and daddy sculpted. But those are the ones that end up in a midlife crisis because they didn't live their life how they were supposed to. They were living their life how their mommy and daddy wanted them to. I've been doing mine by my own. You can say what you want about how I am. I've always heard it specifically from my dad. Why are you so different? Why can't you be like everybody else? Why are you so different? It was never embraced. It was never cherished. It was never valued. I had to find value within myself. I had to pick myself up. I had to be the encouragement to myself, It's hard. But I'm telling you, it gets easier once you get over that hill and everyone just accepts that you're different. You got to be the difference in your family. You got to be the difference in life itself. Because there's many sheeps being herded around. Clones, people dressing like each other, people acting like, the same as each other and blah, 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 blah. But I tell you, man, you got to be the difference. If you're not the difference, you're messing up. You're messing up on a lot. And when you're the difference, that's where you're the impact. Man, though. I tell you, though, I love these podcasts. I love getting everything out. It just feels good. It just feels good all in all. Because at the end of the day, my emotions are valid. Just like you listening. Yeah, your emotions are valid too. I love to speak about mine. I don't give a fuck if anyone listens to this bullshit. I don't care. I do it for me. Just like how I use my Instagram. I remember one guy said, man, you can make money off this. Just use hashtags. Why would I use hashtags and try to hook someone to what I'm supplying when I should be supplying for me? Social media, I use it for me, for my motivational growth. I follow who I need to follow. I post what I need to post for me. You know? I do it all for me. Because I got to keep myself going at the end of the day. No one's there to pat me on the back. No one's there to push me. No one's there to hold my hand. It's just me. And that's life. Because at the end of the day, you are your own individual person. And when you can accept your differences and you can accept that you are different from everybody else, you're going to realize it's a lonely fucking road when you find that. It's a lonely fucking road. Ain't no one going to hold your hand. It's just you against the world. Period. Period. And that's something you got to remember. Now, if you start whining like a little baby and go look for comfort and stuff, you're going to get sidetracked. And then what? They're probably going to guide you in a direction that you don't even need to go. Oh, you can accomplish that, but it's better if you take this route or this route. And guess what? Your bitch ass is probably going to listen. Your bitch ass is probably going to listen. Because that's what we do in comfort. We don't think. We don't think. In the state of comfort, we don't think. That's why you got to stay on the grind. You got to stay on it. You got to stay moving. Because you can go at any time. Any time. I tell you, man. I can't wait to see how things look in a year from now or 2 years from now. That's one thing I tell my friend, because I'm like, I've attracted you. I've attracted people that actually like to listen to me. Like my group, yeah, it grows slowly, but it slowly increases with more people that like to talk to me, more people that actually like to listen to me, more people that actually take me seriously. You know why they start taking me seriously? Because I start taking myself seriously. When you start taking yourself seriously, people just take you serious. People take you serious because you were taking yourself serious. If you don't take yourself serious and you're wanting someone else to see the good inside of you, they're not going to see it, because if you don't see it within yourself, how are they going to be able to see it if you can't even direct them to see it? Life is yours. Your life is yours. You're here for a whole different reason while the other person is here. Everyone is here for a different reason. For the people who avoid their reason in life and stuff, well, those people are suffering. But for the people who find their purpose and they go with the flow with it, they're not suffering. They're not suffering at all because they found peace inside of the suffering. It's the people who aren't doing what they need to do for their purpose in life. Those are the ones that are not at peace with the suffering. So they just suffer. But anyway, I'm going to sign out. Y'all stay positive. I'm out. And peace.